Morning, you see all that anger and sadness out in the country. How much of it is George Zimmerman aware of? How's he handling it?
Well, I think he's aware of it because he's been aware of it for 16 months. He has sort of become the focus of a lot of people's dismay, disgust, anger about the event that happened that night.
Is he scared?
Absolutely. He's been scared for 16 months, and with anger like this, I think he has a good reason to be worried.
And we know he's entitled to have his gun. He does not have it yet, but you heard the prosecutors right there. They said he shouldn't carry one. What's your response?
I heard them say that. I don't know how he could not lawfully carry a gun at this point, since he's now lawfully allowed to carry one. This is the worst time in his life, isn't it?
You also heard from the prosecutors. They say he's a cold-blooded killer who didn't have the courage to take the stand.
Well, one, they were wrong when they charged him. I think they charged him for reasons having nothing to do with the facts of the case, because the Sanford Police Department decided not to charge him. The 18th Judicial Circuit decided not to charge him, but they did. So they were wrong then. They were wrong to continue with their prosecution, and they're wrong with their opinions about him today.
And how does this all go forward at this point? We know that the Department of Justice is considering civil rights and charges. We also know the Martin family is considering a civil suit. Do you think that has any chance of succeeding?
I don't think the federal investigation will develop into any sort of charges. They've been at this since the beginning as well. We have received extensive information along within the discovery in our case of what the FBI has done. Absolutely nothing would suggest that this was a hate crime in any way whatsoever. No.
So you don't believe they can even bring a case?
I don't think so.
And as far as a civil suit?
That's up to the Martins family, but I think if you look at the facts of the case, unfortunate as it was that we lost a young life, it happened because of an intersection that began with some violence, and we only know that George shot Trayvon Martin after 45 seconds of screaming and after getting battered. So it's a very difficult situation. There may be some positive that can come out of this if we look in the right direction together. But there's not going to be a civil suit, and if there is, they're not going to go anywhere with it.
And you mentioned the possibility that George Zimmerman might be bringing lawsuits himself.
Well, if you look at this case and take away the emotion of the loss of Trayvon Martin's life, if you take that away for a minute and really look at what happened here, we had a good investigation done by law enforcement. We had a lot of political and social pressures put on this case that normally were not and should not be put on the case, and there may be some compensation for something like that. From the way the prosecutors handled the case, who decided this case was going to get charged the way it was going to get charged, and everything that's happened to George Zimmerman.
Finally, you mentioned the possibility of healing. Is there anything your client can do to help that process?
Well, unfortunately, he's still looked at as a pariah in this case, so anything that he would say would be looked at through that filter. So I would like to say that he could, and I know that he would like to, but this is going to come with some peace being caused by other people, the Martin family, everybody else who has their hatred or anger at least, turn that towards something positive. That's what we hope for.
Mr. O'Meara, Mr. West, thanks very much.